Hey guys, Masati here. Welcome to Mas on Sunday, where we explain life. First principle reason on why stuff happens the way they do and what you can do about it. Again, from a very totally very different, say, level or perspective, because it's all about, say, dimensions, realities, the multiverse. Literally, it's about time and space. It's got nothing to do with psychology. Your life, guys, has nothing to do with psychology. It's, well, not nothing. It's a very tiny bit. You got to be in the right dimension to be abundant. And that's what we're going to be talking about, how to set goals and achieve them for real this time. Comment in on how many of you have actually set goals and never really achieved them. And then comment in on how many of those who have actually set goals and then they've achieved their goals. And then it's like, shit, that was it. What happened? Why am I not satisfied? Why am I not complete? Right? So that we're going to be talking about all that. And then afterwards, I will be doing scans. Very I guess famous for doing scans on telling you exactly what is going on with your life, like pinpointing the exact algorithm that's messing you up, that is, well, helping you not achieve the goals that you want, whatever it is. So and again, I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know really anything about you. All you'd have to do is go, hey, scan me. So that's all you got to do. All right. So we'll do that afterwards. So again, if you want to be scanned, guys, just do it only once. So just wait to say, hey, scan me till afterwards. Otherwise, I might miss you. Okay. Because this chat is literally about, and I'll answer some of the questions about goal setting and so on like that. So again, if you want to be scanned, just wait till after and go, hey, Moss, can you scan me? Especially if you're new, you know, and if you're not new, don't go, hey, I'm new, scan me. Okay. Because I can see that as well. All right. I've set goals and not achieved them. Goals are moving targets for me. I find setting a goal makes the situation harder. Yes. So, and there's a lot of reasons, underlying reasons why a lot of times goals just don't work out for people. They really don't work out for people. So we're going to be covering 4 reasons why what you know about goal setting is wrong. Okay. Anything that you know about goal setting, I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it's wrong. Let's just put it that way. Okay. How and why, when and goal setting really does work for you. And I'm talking about, well, it's like, well, goal setting works for me all the time. I achieve a lot of the things that I want, but then the person doesn't change. So we'll talk about that. And then why goal setting doesn't work even when you have achieved your goals. So kind of, and then getting into a hyper meditation that can actually help you do 3 things immediately, right here, right now. And we'll do that, as we discuss the topics on goal setting, to point you towards the goals that are beneficial for you. Okay. So the reason why I say, 4 reasons why, anything that you've learned about goal setting is wrong is because a lot of the everything that you do, everything that people talk about in goal setting is like, I'm in point A, I want to go to point B. I'm poor, I want to be rich. I'm rich, I want to be spiritual. Or I'm poor, or I want to have a job, or I'm broken, I want to be fixed. So again, it's from point A to point B. Okay, which is okay, but your identity is always in the present moment time. Again, XI, exponential intelligence, or the physics of XI, is all about dimensions, okay, not psychology. So what you're doing when you set goals, or the reasons why I say goal setting is wrong, is one, is like you're moving yourself out of present moment time. You're becoming another identity of who you are, okay, outside of yourself. This is where a lot of successful individuals, high level CEOs and so on like that come to me, either with them or, as a company as a whole, go, hey, Moss, what's going on? We've achieved all our goals. We make a lot of money, but still the company's in, shambles and so on like that. Right. So why is that? Well, again, it's because a lot of times or a lot of individuals who are successful or even spiritual. Okay, let's talk about the spiritual side as well. You're still that broken identity of who you are. You know, you've still been, say, abused. You've still been shortchanged. You still ran, you know, your childhood experiences that weren't, say, maybe the best, or maybe they were good, but now you're following your mom and dad's steps. Right, the way you age, the way you know, your relationships are, the way you handle money. Again, just like your, you know, your parents or your family lineage. So again, you've achieved this goal, but then you're somebody else. So the number one reason why those, actually the second reason why goal setting is wrong is because when you set goals the standard way, not the XI way, not the XI goal setting way, when you set it the standard way, no matter who teaches it, again, Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, Grant Cardone, all those fantastic individuals, I'm not saying they're wrong. Okay. Their logistics on how to set goals at a physical or psychological level is really fantastic. But there's something missing underneath that all. Okay. That messes everybody up. And I talk to a lot of people, again, who achieved their goals through the, you know, their programs. And they go, Moss, I'm still not who I want to be. This is the reason why you've achieved those goals, but for you, achieving those goals didn't mean that you found yourself. So the number two reason on the reason why everything that you've learned about goal setting, or number three reason, I kind of lost track. I think it's number three. The number three reason is that, well, what happens is that you become somebody else. You lose who you really are, and you're trying to find ways to heal who you are to become your best possible self. Okay. So, and then the fourth reason on why is just that it doesn't help you achieve what you really want. Okay. Why do you think you want to become successful? Because many of you go, well, I got to pay the bills. I got to do this. It'll allow me freedom. It doesn't allow you any of those, actually. Okay. It binds you, especially the freedom part. Goal setting or success does not say equal freedom. It gives you it gives you freedom to choose the problems that you want. But again, that's not freedom. It just gives you it just gives you the ability to, again, choose the problems that you want. Right? That's the only difference between success and then people who aren't successful. People who aren't successful, they don't get to choose the problems that they have. Okay. And at a deeper level, you're still not curing or healing yourself. Again, so those are the four reasons why normal goal setting really doesn't work. What you really have to do, again, is go deep. And the main purpose that you want to set a goal, and this is how, why, and when goal setting does work. Main purpose on why you want to set a goal is that your true identity of who you are comes in with that journey. And then as a result, the end result of you achieving that goal makes you, say, a grander version, or makes you understand that, yes, I have achieved that identity of getting closer to myself. Okay. And it all goes back to space and time. Okay. So again, take a deep breath in, and we'll just turn it into an experiential experience. And for those people who are new, you'd probably go, what the hell is this guy talking about? Because, you know, I've achieved a lot of goals. I've been happy in my life. But again, many of you are aging the way you are, the way society is, the way your parents are. You're getting diseased the way everything else, everybody else is. And you're losing yourself as you age as well. Right. And I can read some of those newer people that have just come onto this channel. I can scan anybody, by the way. That's one of the abilities that we all have. And that's one of those things that I teach through some of the courses that we do. So let's take a deep breath in and just notice where you are. Notice the space around you. Okay. And we'll do an experiential experience, because Moss on Sundays is more of an experiential teachings rather than, say, logic here. And some of you might get confused on the way I teach or the way I explain things, which is actually good for you, because true knowledge that changes your life will confuse you at first. Okay. So let it just sit with you. Again, true knowledge will always change you. Well, it'll shake you. It'll shake your paradigm. It'll shake all those little cubby holes that you've created to put all the logic in. If you don't, say, shake out that cubby hole or how you create logic in your head, you'll never learn or you'll never transform. Okay. So the reason why I bring that up is because when people goal set, take a breath in and just notice your chest. When people start to really goal set, what they do is they try to put whatever thing that they want out there that is going to benefit them, and then morph it and grind it and shape it and hammer it into the logic that they currently have. Literally, that's what they do. And it doesn't really work out. So say, and I'll give you an extreme example. You're alcoholic, okay? Or you're addicted to something, okay? Sometimes that something is work, okay? So or finding yourself, or never being good enough. A lot of people, why they set goals is because they think that they're never good enough. So they go from one goal to the next goal to the next goal to the next goal, and they're never good enough. They could achieve a ton of goals, but again, that feeling, that pattern, the underlying pattern of being not good enough always consumes them, and it magnifies the higher, say, the price tag of the goal. The more success you have, the more that you're not good enough. Again, this is where a lot of times highly successful individuals, they commit suicide just because of that reason. Okay, so that's the number, I think, fifth or sixth reason why what you know about goal setting and how to achieve it doesn't really work out well. Look at all those successful individuals, again, who have committed suicide. And you can just, again, you can Google all the famous people who think that have it all committed suicide. Just Google it, and you'll see hundreds and hundreds of them. Just this past, say, 2 years, which is kind of crazy, right? Because that's what everybody is achieving. So how do you know, or how, why, and when goal setting works? So this is where expansion comes in. By the way, it's the title of my book, Your Inner Expansion. Should be coming out later this year. Your inner expansion is, again, normal goal setting. I'll explain normal goal setting is like your point A, okay? You're a sheep, basically. I'll give you a CEO example. You're a sheep. You are a person that's gotten beaten up. You are, say, a woman that wants to be, free or independent of anybody else, whatever the reason is, right? And the number one issue, or the number one reason why you want to achieve that goal, okay, it has to, say, resolve why you want that goal. So I'm going to give you a couple steps as you take a deep breath in and just notice your spine as I work on you, on how, why, and when goal setting does actually work. Okay. So the process is, and when it actually does work, is that when you start noticing that all the things that are wrong with you, okay, all the shadows, and again, there's nothing really wrong with you. It's just not your best possible self. That's the way I see it, right? There's always, say, room for expansion. You have limitless possibilities of who you are, and that's what you want to reach. Okay. But again, most goal settings, they limit you to the possibilities of who you are. Again, even if you achieve those goals, and that's why when people do achieve those goals, they just go downhill. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in again. Notice your spine, notice your sternum bone, the bone that connects your ribs in front here. So when goals do work, it's not a movement. It's not a movement from point A to point B. Okay. It's an interconnection between your real version of who you are, the template of what you were born with. Okay. The real self, say, that died deep inside you. Okay. When you were about, say, 10, 8 to 12 years old, basically. Okay. Around that time, you had limitless possibilities. You had limitless, and most people and most kids associated to, I want to be this, I don't know, astronaut, or I'm going to be a doctor and fix everybody in the world. They associate the limitless possibility, the grander version of who they are. They transfer it into a goal, especially if you are of a certain culture, like mine, for example. If you're not a doctor or a lawyer, or something like that, you're just a nobody. That's associated to your goal-seeking mechanism. It's like, well, shit, I don't want to be nobody. I want to be somebody. And again, a lot of those Indians, a lot of like Middle Easterns, a lot of those types of cultures, right? Or an engineer, doctor, lawyer, engineer. If you're not any of those, you're just again a nobody. So no matter what happens, or no matter how successful you become, if that's been ingrained in you, again, no matter how successful you become, if it's aren't, say, those three things that you are, you will feel like a nobody. And that's the worst thing that people want, is to feel like a nobody. They want to become somebody. Right? The key is that when they become somebody, it's somebody else that they became, not themselves. They want to be like, I don't know, somebody famous, right? They want to be like so and so. Again, even when you achieve that, you don't lose yourself. Excuse me. So when goals do work out, you start to notice your inner self. You start to notice the weaknesses, the journey, and that's why the journey to goal setting is more fun. And you've heard it from a lot of people, highly successful individuals, say the journey is more fun or more engaging than actually achieving the goal. This is the reason why. Okay. So when goal setting does work, the journey is an expansive state for you. The journey for most individuals, though, is that they sacrifice themselves. They work themselves to the bone. They get rid of everything. They get addicted to a lot of things to achieve their goal. Okay, so that's not the kind of journey that you want. That's wrong goal setting. The journey that you do want is you start to get run into, say, situations or blocks, so to speak. Right, it gives you opportunities to expand and go look inward, reflect inwards, and you go, God, what is it inside me that's allowing this to happen or to show in my life? So real goal setting allows you to understand the algorithms or the patterns that have held you back, the patterns that have helped, the patterns that have set your mom and dad back, the patterns that have set your family lineage back as a whole. As you achieve or become a better version of yourself, whatever prosperity means to you, again, spiritual enlightenment, to making $1 million, $1 billion, whatever you need, both sides of the coin, it doesn't really matter. The real purpose is, again, is that goal healing the inside of you and removing your past identities or the evolutionary process. Okay. So real, in a nutshell, right? In a nutshell, when goal setting really works for you, and this is goes deep and you might not understand it, but just give it some thought, just let it absorb into you, and I'll help you do that. Just notice your chest, is that you want to remove or you want to evolve into a higher consciousness of yourself, a better version of yourself. Okay? That's when goal setting really works. So whatever goal setting that you do, if it's not doing it for you, it's not going to be worth it for you. Right? So again, you want to expand into yourself. At a logistical level, or those who are, say, exponentially intelligent, practice XI, the XIers, basically what's happening is your limitless self is here, your limited, your time-bound self is here, your physical world is here, right? This is the computer. This is, some of you might call it a spirit, but again, spirit is a little tainted. This is your, say, according to quantum neuroscience, this is that consciousness that we're trying to explain. Okay, I would call it your blueprint. Okay, some of you might call it your spirit. Again, it doesn't matter what you label it, it does the same thing. So you're here, you're somewhere out here, and you're trying to find yourself over there. If I go make $1 billion over here, again, you're still further away, and that goal won't achieve anything. So real goal setting, again, is about, say, proximity. How close is that goal setting going to get you to merge with your higher version? This is the state of oneness. If you've looked at, philosophers, highly intelligent individuals who, say, have become highly successful, they get into that mode of going, shit, you know what? Now I need to find myself. That's what they're talking about, right? And then they turn into philanthropy and so on like that, because again, they didn't resolve the issue with their goals. So what happens, again, real goal setting, the right way to achieve it is that your timeless self knows exactly what the time-bound version of itself is doing, and they merge together. So real goal setting helps you become one, helps you become, say, complete, the oneness, the wholeness. I call it singularity, becoming singular. There is no me, there is no my highest version. As a little kid, right? You saw the possibilities of yourself out there somewhere. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in, close your eyes. As a young child, again, it wasn't about being a rocket scientist or curing whatever. It was about the limitless possibilities those things that made you feel limitless because you were the closest thing, say, to your timeless self or your spirit, right? That's what you wanted. Your parents, society, and so on told you that, well, if you get a job, you can achieve your limitless self, which isn't true. So again, that's why another reason goal setting doesn't work. I don't know if we're on 7, 8, 9, or 10, but again, for most individuals, it doesn't work. Take a deep breath in. Notice again around 8 to 12 years old, that moment in time where you felt all the possibilities. Okay, and I'll help you with that. Some of you, it'll bring back the limitations on why you can't feel it anymore. So if you're feeling a block, it's good. Notice that block for you. Breath in again. And I'll give you examples on why and how it works for those individuals who do it right. Okay. And obviously, this is a whole lecture, hours upon hours. I'm just really condensing it for you. Breath in again, notice your spine. And then again, that limitless self that I'm trying to bring into you. So I think many of you are feeling expansive. And again, comment in if you are feeling, say, that expansive. There we go. There you go. So it's about you, as Carolyn put it, it's about you being you, the real self, the human self, right? The original form, the pure version of what, say, a higher consciousness could be you. You could denote it to God, or again, whatever your belief system is, or your atheism. It doesn't really matter. Again, you feeling that expansive being, a being like a pure human. So if your goal, no matter what it is, right? Again, being I don't know, a cashier, being somebody that cures cancer, if it's not finding your real self, the feeling that you're feeling right now, that goal is wrong for you, right? Somebody was telling me I was a dentist, just hated it. I was a lawyer. It was shit. Again, you might go, well, gosh, what the hell is wrong? It's not the career. It's just because you thought that career was going to say save you and expand you and bring you back to your humanness. Right? In today's world, we're finding out, especially after COVID, this is the dilemma that we have, right? It's like all that work I've done, where has it gotten me compared to where I really want to be? Again, your timeless self, your spirit version of who you are right here. And then all the goals that you've done have taken you further and further. And this is the dilemma that many individuals face nowadays after COVID. It's like they don't want to go back to work. They go back to work and they're really starting to find it's like, God, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's work, a relationship, or whatever it is, I'm losing myself more because during that time of COVID, it was a great awakening experience to understand or recalibrate humanity. Okay. Yes, unfortunately, many people died. Many people died because of the flu. This was just, accentuated, obviously. Don't want to get into that side of it, but for awakening humanity, that's what it really was at a deeper level. We can use it to our advantage, is to awaken ourselves to go, which direction are we really going, at a physical, at a personal level, at a company level, at a, say, group level, whether it's a company, a religion, a cause, whatever it is, and then a human level. Are we actually doing those things that are going to be supporting us to a higher level of consciousness, or like previous situations that have, say, gone kaput, right? Or distinguished themselves, uh, like extinguished themselves, sorry. Are we going to be one of those individuals? So that's the key. So again, goal setting, the way you want it to work is that it allows you to go inwards. Okay? It allows you to heal your inner self, and not just heal from a bad childhood or anything like that. It allows you to remove those genetic patterns. Okay. Those genetic patterns that, say, time or generation after generation have, say, devolved humanity. So no matter what you're doing, it's good for you, it's good for your loved ones, and it's good for the planet. Right. So that's when goal setting really, really works. Right. It's not about the idea, by the way. Again, the most simplest idea, the most basic thing, can, say, evolve you or propel you into a higher level of states of awareness of being. And then you've reached your goal. Once you reach that level, though, of, say, massive, say, acceptance or massive connection to yourself, the things that you want physically, okay, the things that you want physically, money, a job, you'll be happy in any career, literally, if you're happy inwards. How many people know that? If you're just a happy person on the inside, right, you can go through life a lot easier. Right? In its most simplest form, that's what I'm talking about. But obviously, multiply that by about a couple thousand times. And this is the level, say, of intensity on the happiness or that connection that you want. Right? Um, so, so how are you guys feeling? Expansiveness? Yeah. So that's what you want. You go inward, you clean up all that garbage. You clean up all that garbage that's not you. That's what your goal is. That's what hardship is in a lot of cases. But again, hardship for a lot of people go, and this is I read this on a t-shirt. You really have to, say, sacrifice yourself, pain, and the more pain that you have, the better it's for you. Well, if that is your mindset, and that's a lot of leadership's mindset, it's like, no, just think, the more success you want, the more pain that you'll have to go through. And again, for those high level individuals, like, say, Jeff Bezos and those individuals, they have to go through a shitload of pain to become to the next level. And they already know that they've lost themselves already. And if you've ever noticed those individuals who are highly or super, super successful that we all look up to, go, damn, they're rich, but it's like, what the hell happened to them? You'll see the before, you'll see their after pictures, and then go, they're two different people, because they sold themselves. They separated so far away that they literally lost themselves completely. Another, say, personality literally came into them to continue on their quest outside of themselves. That's why those highly successful individuals, they look really different and they age really weird looking, or they look really, well, not human anymore. All right. I was going to go through here. This one, I mean, but I feel nobody as a doctor. That's what I'm talking about. Again, you thought that if I was somebody important, or if I did something important, that goal that I'll achieve, I'll be good. But you don't. Again, no matter what it is, if that goal didn't expand you, your inner expansion, Mexicans too, yeah, Chinese, yep. It's not gonna help you out. I was gonna read some of these individuals. I should have just done it when I had the chance. Let's take a deep breath in them. Super intense frequencies. Yes. Um, why is my husband so unstable and manic sometimes? Um, I'll explain that later. He hates his mom, by the way. He never got over the pain of what she did to him. So, anyway, that's just a side note. I was those individuals that said goal setting doesn't work. I was going to take questions about that, why goal setting didn't work, or uh, I have set goals and not achieved them. For you, Joan, the reason why, oh, here, goals are moving targets for me. Yes, because they're moving targets for you, again, in a good way, because it shows you the goals aren't moving. The goal is stationary, but you're moving. You're trying to define, or back in the day, you used to define who you were compared to the reflection of people around you. That's why the goal setting really never works for you. Okay. And that's why goals become a moving target. It's like, well, if I achieve that goal, then I know I'll lose myself. And then it's like, well, I won't achieve that goal. I'll go somewhere else. I'll achieve some other goal. Okay. So deep down inside, no matter what you're trying to do, no matter what goal that you're trying to set, it's a connection of self. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in again. This is another reason why XIers who have had this one, Lisa here, Lisa Van Lisa, I find setting a goal makes the situation harder. Yes, because what happens, Lisa, for you is, and for many individuals, is like when you set a goal, you really have to realize, or you really have to say face up to what happened in the past for you, that it seems like your memories, or you're trying to block memories, or you're trying to go, that didn't happen to me, or that situation never existed in my life. So when you set a goal for yourself, again, a goal is a magnifier. Okay? If something is a beneficial for you, whatever it is, it's a magnifier. It allows you to magnify so you can see clearly the weaknesses that you are. Okay. So that's what real goal setting allows you to do. Most individuals, again, they see the weaknesses like Lisa here. And then what she does, by the way, is that it's like, if I become or better myself, and then I have to face all this stuff. So again, it becomes that impossible, it makes it harder for you. It's like, because again, if you set that goal and then you achieve it, you become that person that becomes awakened, and then you have to face or deal with healing the past, right? Overall for you. The goal, impossible dream for Carolyn here. The reason why is that every time you set a goal, Carolyn, do you notice that like you can almost reach it for you? And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like at least 7 times. And again, if I'm reading you, just comment in on the accuracy. Not for my purpose. I know I'm accurate. I've done this enough times. But for you, the key is that, again, it's always about, say, time and space distortions for you. The closer you get to a goal, the more it's like you almost reach the goal, and then something happens for you where it just like disappears. And you feel so farther away from, say, the goal. If that makes sense to you. It's not about the goal. It's that you've lost your identity long ago, and you're trying to reclaim it. When again, the magnifier is so close to you, it shows you how far off you are the mark between your timeless self and your time-bound self. Okay. And that's why that stuff doesn't work. Or with Carolyn, obviously, from what I'm seeing, that was your past. I'm just reading your past. Now, goals are more accessible for you. So you've done a good job, probably through the 18-day hyper meditations, starting in September, by the way. You're starting to go, oh, you know what? I need to look inwards, and you're cleaning yourself up. And that's the way it should be. So again, goal setting, the way you want to do it is XI goal setting. It's about spatial referencing or spatial goal setting. Okay. When you want to achieve a goal, by the way, take a breath in. When you want to achieve a goal, when you want to achieve that goal, most people overall in an XI, say, science version, or again, quantum neuroscience, say, understanding, simplified, is that you live in a dimension here. The dimension that you exist in is your current situation that you are. Okay. What happens is that you still live in this dimension, or say, imagine a house that you're in. Okay. And then imagine the house that you're in, or a house that you would be in. Again, your world, right? That's your world. And then, oh, I want success. You pull that success. You're still in that same house, but you pull the success into you, right? So you're still that same person, but now you have, say, a facade over you. What you want to do, again, is you go, what dimension is the goal resonating at? Okay. So you don't move. say that this goal here, whatever it is, health, wealth, relationships, whatever it is, a higher connection to a God. It's over here, this dimension. You're over here. Okay. Now, old goal setting, again, overall, just as we end, old ways of goal setting. Okay. Again, there's nothing wrong with them, but there's a lot of things wrong with them because they have a lot of side effects. Is that you're in point A where you should always be in present moment time. Okay. You move to the point where your goal is. That's the problem. You lose your identity, no matter who you are. Okay. Because of the dimensional move, you're out of time and space. You've moved away from your deeper version of who you are. In XI goal setting, again, spatial goal setting, I call it, okay, is that you're here, you're in the present moment time, point A, or the 0 point. You start resonating. Okay, now imagine, forget the house experience, take a breath in. Imagine you're in a sphere. Okay, in the sphere, you're right dead center in the sphere. Okay. Now imagine that, again, whatever that you want. Okay. Imagine the frequency that resonates at. Again, you're not moving anywhere, but you start resonating at that frequency. What happens is that dimension of time and space gets pulled forward, boom, and connects with you. You don't move. Your environment or your realities or your dimensions move. Okay? It's just like if you're in again, most people go, oh, I'm going to go over there. You don't go over there. You stay here and resonate strongly. How do you do that? By going inwards. You go inwards and, you look inside your chest. It's like, oh shit, this isn't working. And you just keep throwing shit out. And as you throw stuff out, you start resonating with just abundance, whatever abundance is to you. That dimension literally starts moving towards you. And this is the key. This is the secret on how goals work for real for those individuals who achieve the goal. The journey is really fantastic for them, right? Because they get closer and closer, they get expansive to who they are. And then when the goal is achieved, something inside of them clicks, and then they own that dimension. That other dimension moves away. That makes sense to you. Everything, and then this dimension that got pulled into them, well, it's a different reference point than this. So their whole possibilities start to change as well. Most people, when they set goals, they might make a lot of money again, but the possibilities around them are still the same. That's why it's not real goal setting, right? It's achieving something, but then again, that's not real goal setting. So, being present in life is a goal for me. Sure, of course it is. But then the reason why you're here is to enjoy the possibilities. Again, connecting to yourself. So again, that person, just reading them, that's just a goal. Yes, because you've gone so deep losing yourself that just being, say, level for most people, just being or having that connection is like, shit, that's all I want. So with XI, you get to this level really fast, especially if you're doing the 18 days. 18-day HyperMeditation is coming up for you, where you can transform your life in 18 days, but then also total human reset, which totally resets, your diet, exercise, and then obviously your mental state. It's an awakening, total human reset, by the way. For those who've done total human reset, comment in on how fantastic that was. But again, for most individuals, I just want to be human. So it's like, yeah, I've been so pushed down into that hole. I just want to see the light again. To get there is really super easy. Again, becoming exponentially intelligent. What XI does, again, goes beyond that, where you can go expand who you are. Okay. And that's the key. And then, you do things like, psychology or self-improvement or whatever those great people teach you. And then it really works out for you, right? Because you found yourself. and then you keep expanding. So you use psychology, or again, all those tools that they teach you to keep expanding yourself. But first, you have to fix yourself first. And that's what XI does for you, or XI goal setting does for you. So, oh, some of you, one more thing, by the way. Some of you, some of you who do XI and you're really passionate about something, and then you go, Mas, after I did the 18 days or whatever, I lost all my passion for whatever I was doing. Yes. So the reason for that is, again, you achieved your underlying reason or the purpose on why you set that goal. The underlying purpose, like I said, was because you want to connect to yourself more. Well, XI allowed you to connect to yourself at a deeper level. So if your purpose was met, why would you want to achieve that goal? This is where it's like, yeah, I wanted to achieve that goal, and many people have achieved that goal, and then like they're not satisfied. So it saved you a hell of a lot of time. Okay, where you lose your passion for something after doing the 18 days. It doesn't mean that you lose your passion for life. You recalibrate, and then you create a passion for expanding your life, not say trying to find your life. Right. So again, that passion does come back. We're going to take a break, guys. We're going to take a minute break, and then we're going to come back, and that's where I will scan you to see why goals haven't worked out in the past for you. Okay. So again, if you want to be scanned, I'll scan you, but I'll put it or associate it to why goals or why you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve in life. All right. And we'll be right back. So go ahead and play that 18-day video, Yami, and then again, we'll come back. Hey guys, we are back. Again, that was the 18-day hyper meditations that's starting in September. Again, 18 days, frequencies that are off the charts for you. Again, normal frequencies or, brainwave frequencies and so on like that are here. Psychology and so on, those types of frequencies are here. XI frequencies, what we produce in the hyper meditations are like up here. These are these frequencies that go beyond your original state or your physical safe. It goes beyond the physical frequencies. I would call them, say, the origin frequencies. Let me say that was a cool video. Thanks for that. All right. So this is a portion where I scan you and tell you exactly what's going on with you. Again, I don't need to know anything about you really. All you have to do is go, hey, can you scan me? And you can use your fake name and all that. It's like, well, it's not a magic trick or anything like that. It's frequencies. It's all about frequencies. And this is where, again, quantum neuroscience, or associate XI with the quantum neuroscience, because that's what it's all about. It's all about reading and understanding frequencies. You're always sending out a frequency. Okay, kind of like an IP address. If you're sending a text, right, within that text, in the header and so on like that, if you look at what you really send out, it's a packet that's huge, and it tells you the time, where you sent it, the type of device you were using, and so on and so on and so on. When you're sending out a message, no matter when you're communicating, no matter how you are, or if you're just sitting there, you're always sending out this ping. You're always pinging out information. I can pick that up. I've got that ability and just hone into you. We all have this ability, by the way. And that's what I teach in exponential intelligence. We're on the 18 days. So again, we'll associate it with goal setting. Okay. I just have to read this disclaimer. It's Masati with Exponential Intelligence. This is Sunday, August 14th, 2022. Not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. Please consult your doctor for professional advice. Again, so if I give you medical advice or anything like that, I'm just telling you what I see. I could be all wrong. Right. Unfortunately, a lot of, well, obviously, I'm not, but I could be all wrong. You have to decide on what to do. If you ask to be scanned, you're agreeing that we may use your session on any public media because this is public media. Okay. It's not a private session. If you do want a private session, we have those. Those are backed up a bit. But again, if you want something private, we've got private sessions for you. So, and again, please ask only once. Not all contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. So the biggest key now, guys, Exponential is growing rapidly, and there's a lot of copycatters. So just be careful, right? Just be careful on who practices XI on you, or say they can help you through XI. Okay, there's only a certain few that I'm comfortable with. So, all right. So, can you please scan my progress? My family has transformed with XI. This is Samantha. So again, Samantha, yes, they have. And did you notice? I call this, a really, it's a really cool XI phenomena. Where it's not just about you changing, it's about your whole family changes. So for you, Samantha, you did the XI, you did the work, you did all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, your family starts to change, your family starts to shift, and so on like that, whether they do the work or not. Right. And then obviously they start getting into the work. So at the level that you're at, they're starting to actually get into the work. They're starting to get, it's like, hey, what is she doing? What is mom or dad? What is mom doing? Or even your spouse or somebody around you. Could be your spouse, or it could be somebody. Can't quite tell. It doesn't feel like a relationship type deal, although it could be. So that relationship might be getting better if you are in a relationship. Right now, it feels kind of like a brother-sister type relationship if you are in a relationship, by the way. Man, so anyway, those things are, again, cleaning up for you, okay? Or if you're not in a relationship, what happens is that you're removing the patterns of getting into a relationship and it turns into, say, a brother sister where there's no romance, there's no passion, there's no, say, seduction and sex and all that stuff. It's just like we care for each other, which is great. But again, you want to go beyond that, right? So you're getting really ready for that from what I'm seeing. So really nice job, by the way. And if you are in a relationship, again, the passion will reignite once you're finding yourself, okay? Which is really nice. This one is it Marithia? Marithia Rose? What's the message in the Moss Mountain for me? So the message for you, Marithia, and again, excuse me for mispronouncing your name, is that I don't know if you have neck issues or something like that, but or your mom or grandma had neck issues. Anyway, I see an impingement on your neck or something like that, or somebody around you. Okay, so if it's not you, somebody either died or has that kind of issue with them. But the key is that why am I seeing it in you? Okay, so a couple of reasons. One is that as they cross over, or if they've already crossed over, you have a higher propensity of having, say, blockages. Okay, so you really need to check that out. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but somebody in your family, or if somebody in your family if you're worried about somebody in your family, and it's like, why are they not? They kind of like feel like they're passing out sometimes, or they're not quite there. Again, it's because of their blood flow to the brain. It's restricted blood flow on the right side. I could be off. It could be you, or it could be a loved one, or that loved one could have died already. But again, you're having that propensity, so you want to take care of it. Okay. So you're at the level where, again, you're coming into your body, and this is where you can recalibrate yourself. So it's a great opportunity for you, again, to look inwards, do the physical things that you need to remove yourself so you don't have to age. Basically, for you specifically, you are not, or you do not want to age the way your parents did. Okay. You're at that point where you're going, well, shit, Oh, yeah, that's what it is. So what happens in your family, again, not a doctor, I could be totally off, but what happens in your family is that there's like blockages, and then huge blockages, and then it's like they just keel over. So again, whether it's you or that's that pattern that you're running, you want to work on that. You want to, whatever that you want to do, and I'll help you with that. And that's what I'm working with you. So you run into the right doctor, whatever, that'll help you figure all that out for you. Okay. There you go. So again, if I scan you, please comment in on how that was for you. This is Lisa. Is it Lisi? Lise? Hi, can you scan me? Sure. There's a lot of fear in you. The fear is like losing of yourself. So it's like, when, say, when a child is like left behind, so to speak, not from that government program, No Child Left Behind, which is kind of a failure, but different subject. Anyway, when a child feels left behind, or they always feel like they're going to be abandoned, so to speak, that's the way you feel to me, Lisa. So when you're like that, it's like, I better, it's like, say that, I see you as a little kid, and then all of a sudden, what happens is, like, your parents just are gone for some reason. They disappear. Say you're in a playground, and they just disappear for hours, and so on. So it's that kind of deal, where, again, they just left you alone at home, for example, or you just felt isolated or alone. So those kind of patterns. So what you do now is, like, you want to observe, and you want to make sure somebody is always in the room with you, or you always need that attachment to somebody, or you want to make sure, again, that they're within close reach. Right. So again, you can remove that if that actually physically happened, right? Or it might have happened, or if it happened to your mom, for example, okay, and she just washed over you like a hawk, right? It could be the same pattern, right? Because she didn't want to lose you. So those types of pattern. The pattern is basically, loss of self, or not connection to other people, basically. So again, removing that for you, you just like will blossom. The 18 days would really benefit you, where I think you're getting into that point. I don't know. You seem you're kind of like new to me, or there's a new awakening to me. They said, Liz. Anyway, so Lise. So what's happening for you now is that you're starting to see, again, spatial referencing would really work for you, which we teach on the 18 days. So that will really help you understand. It's like, wait a second, you know what? Um, I don't I don't need to feel lost to stay here. I don't need that person to stay here, because that's the only reason. So what does that mean to you physically? In the physical world, in this world, relationships, for example, you're always afraid of somebody just leaving you just for the slightest issue, so you don't speak up. You feel really, say, compressed, or you dare not do those things that might, say, upset somebody, or show your real talent, because, again, because if you look brighter than anybody around you're afraid that they might, again, walk away, or just leave, or disappear. So again, that fear of disappearing for you. So when JR, 4 years of XI, nothing is moving in the physical for me. Why not? I do have goals, because for example, you keep kind of repeating, and this is the reason why for a lot of individuals, XI just changes you, again, like in the 18 days. Or what happens is that your inner core of who you are hasn't changed much. Okay, your identity or your purpose or your proof or you're caring for somebody. Say like you're caring for your mom, or I just feel a female frequency for you around you, JR. So whatever, if that person is crossed over, their identity is still attached onto you. So again, you have, that's not your identity. So that's why, no, so at a physical level, what happens is that you're all set to go, but you need to remove this one identity. And then once you do, they're gone. Or if it's a situation where it's like, as soon as my mom or dad dies, then I can live life. You know, if you've had that kind of, say, agreement or contract, if as soon as something ends, then I can start. That's the pattern that you run. Okay. So in this scenario, it's turned into, as soon as you identify who you are, again, physical things will move forward for you. So what I was helping you with here with JR is literally pushing you down into who you are, so you can't look forward, because that's the other objective. You have goals, but again, I'm here, it's never good enough here, I need to move there. That's why the goals don't work for you. Again, you can't move. You have to stay here where you are and face some of the things that, well, you're you don't even know what it's about. Or again, you're waiting for that. As soon as something happens. So the key is I'm locking you where you are. So you have to just look at whatever. So whether if you're waiting for something to happen or somebody to die or whatever like that, you know, or a disconnect, you don't have to anymore, but you have to resolve that connection. And that's what I'm helping you with. So looking inwards and going, oh, there's just one more piece of the puzzle. And as soon as you let that go, you will take off. Okay. This was Meta Power. What is my business goal proximity? Not really understanding what that means. What is my business goal proximity? But just scanning you, Meta. Is that, you know, your identity, you know, it's like almost like what would happen for you is like you would get so intertwined in something that you would lose your identity. And that's the problem. So again, with XI, the more you lose your identity, the further away the goal will feel for you. Because again, once you awaken, you always want to find your identity. So the key is that you just, you know, you need to understand or come understand yourself a bit more. Again, this is for you. It's like, if I do X, if I become a successful person, and again, it could be a culture thing for you. You know, if I become that successful person, then I can define who I am and I can prove to other people and myself that I am somebody. Again, that definition has to change for you. Once it does, the business paradigm, okay, or the success that you want in business will be part of you, and you just are naturally successful. Have you ever noticed there's a difference between those individuals who really own their wealth? That makes sense to you? They really own their wealth. They know their shit, right? Versus somebody that's become really successful just because they tried really, really hard, but they still don't understand the concept of success or their business. Okay. Which one do you want? And that's that question that I put to you, Meta. So again, come back into yourself, really understand yourself. I would say in the next 1 or 2 months, especially if you know work at XI, it'll really push you into understanding that last, say, bit for you, that last part of the quotient, I would call it. You're mathematically inclined, by the way. Once that locks in for you, and then the business shows for you. In XI, again, guys, you have to be, say, complete before success comes in, because success is a destroyer if you're not complete. You want to magnify yourself, not create more holes. Right? I'm so sorry. I don't speak Spanish. Although just being here, and even if you don't understand what I'm talking about, noticing the frequencies will really help you. Okay. So if you have individuals If you have individuals, like your parents or whoever that might not understand English, right? Because of your culture or whatever, just play the 18 days in the background for them. It's about the frequencies. It's not about, say, what I talk about. Okay. Um, um, psychology here. Somebody's excited about the addiction call tonight. Yeah, this addiction series, guys. If you were on that, again, comment in on how successful that was. A lot of individuals, even hardcore drugs, people got off the addiction series. So that's the kind of research, or that's the kind of transformations exponential intelligence allows. Right. Again, it's hard to get off the hard drugs, right? But through XI, a lot of you got off it, which is really amazing. Or the hard stuff, but even some of the simpler stuff of abusing yourself and losing yourself and so on like that. So this one is patiently waiting for my business idea and next step to come in. Well, Lisa, this is where MetaPower, you're welcome. That makes sense. Yes. I'm sure that made sense for you. For Lisa, though, I'm patiently waiting for my business idea and next step. And that sounds really good. And you might think that, well, that's because that Moss says just wait. But, you've always waited for the right time. Okay. So when I say wait, observe, I'm not saying wait. I'm saying observe. Observe what's happening in your environment. Observe you in your environment. And as you observe, the pieces of the puzzle start to say dismantle or connect for you. And that's where you want to be. Okay. For you, Lisa, you're waiting because you're one, you're afraid of, like, everything has to be perfect for you to move forward. Okay. So in your scenario, don't patiently wait. Just don't patiently observe. Fucking do anything. Just go out there and start anything. It's just like your GPS on your phone. Okay. What happens is, right, as soon as you move, especially if you're walking, it says just like move any direction. And then it picks a coordinate and tells you, oh, you're walking in the wrong direction. So again, for you, Lisa, don't patiently wait, because you used to do that back in the day because you wanted everything to be perfect for you before you move forward. Okay. It's not going to work for you this time. And that's kind of like an excuse for you now. Again, so now just do anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's towards your business idea or anything like that. Just start something and commit to it. Like Total Human Reset coming up in 2 months, I think, September, October, right? Just do that and apply and get disciplined. Okay. Lisa, you have to get disciplined. So again, set a diet, set a goal, do something and go and then do it. And then that'll get you going. And that's where your business idea will come through. All right. Addiction series, great. This one, Cindy, what algorithm am I running? So, Cindy, what's happening for you is that, your brain, you're always in your head from what I'm seeing. You're always comparing yourself to this person here, whoever this person is. If there is no person, you're comparing it to, say, an alter ego of yours or a person that your mom thinks that you should have been. So basically, that's what it is. Your mom or a feminine frequency. It could be your father, by the way. Yeah. So again, a feminine frequency. If your father was feminine, so to speak, it seems like he was. Again, not good enough. That has like rubbed off on you. Or if your mom was a masculine, so I tend to mix those things up because I see frequencies. So anyway, a feminine frequency, not good enough. Okay. So you're always comparing. So what you've done back in the day, especially in your teenage years, like, you know what? Whatever you're doing is not going to help you in the future. So it's that kind of deal. So it's like, shit, then what am I doing? So then you always compare yourself to either somebody or something, but whatever it is that you're not good enough. So you're always like running after and trying to figure out. The key with you is that you're always trying to figure out what makes that person better than you. So think of it. What makes that person better than you? No matter what or who that person is. That person could be totally off and totally wrong, totally fucked up. And there's always like, that person's better than me. So that pattern has to leave you. Okay. And I can just knock it out of you. And that's what I was helping you. And then you wake up and it's like, whoa, I don't have to compare myself with anybody else. And when you do compare yourself, you want to go, oh, you know what? That person has great success mechanisms. How can I copy that piece of it? Not their whole identity, because that's what you do, by the way, as well. You copy their whole identity, but just that piece that resonates with success. Okay. This is Vola Rad. My mom needs your scan. Because of you, Vola, what's happening is like um, your mom is and this happens a lot, by the way, guys. So say that. So I might as well talk about it, especially nowadays with my abilities really amping up. So you know you're all about whoever that was, Iva, Vola. Yeah, Vola. And this goes for everybody. Take a deep breath in, because as I work on one individual, I'm just working on all of you. So with you, Vola, what's happening is that your mom was expecting, as she ages or if she's gone already, it doesn't really matter. Um, so if she's getting close to death, or again, she's older than you, right? So anyway, so that connection, there was a deep connection, and basically what's happening is that since you've done XI, what is happening is that you're independent. Those individuals, whether your mom, your dad, whatever, as they age, especially, they can't say rely on you or push all their frequencies on you. Okay, they can't say step into you, or you can't support their frequencies. Whichever way, the outcome of that, for those in simple language, is that when your parents cross over, and then like 5, 6 months later, you turn into your parents. Does that make sense to you? That's what would be happening for you. Okay, so that mechanism. And it's happened in generations past in your family, but that mechanism is broken now for you, which is a good thing. You are independent of yourself. Again, whatever you've done with XI, congratulations. You become independent. What happens is like your mom's going, wait a second, thought I was supposed to jump into you, and you're supposed to support me towards the end of my life. And it's like, and even if she's gone, you're pushing that away. Okay. So again, you're cleaning up, say, your genetic makeup, which is really exciting for you. Um, I know it says that your mom needs your scans. So she's probably alive, but there's always a space of death around her, or she always thinks that she's gonna die. That's why I bring that up. Even if like she's in her 40s or 50s, it's like, well, I'm gonna die soon. Although you could be living like into your 90s. Have you ever met people like that, right? Like, well, I'm old now, so they just get ready for death, and then death is like 40 years away. So anyway, that kind of pattern, and that's limited you as well. Now you've got the vibrancy of life for you, and your mom is like this getting distorted because as you awaken, again, you're not supporting anybody anymore. So congratulations, but it does mess her up a little bit, and then afterwards, if she continues on, she'll start to stabilize on her own. So uh it's true. Vola Rad, yeah, it's true. Yeah, she's alive, but again, she always says, that she always says that um that she's gone. um just 1 second. Well, I'll just text you then. Okay, okay, bye. I love you. um This is KBBK. Can you scan my family dynamics? Again, this is another thing. I call this the Roger Bannister, say, effect. What happened is, like Roger Bannister, he changed the dynamics of, say, running, right? He's the first guy that ran the 4-minute mile. Once he broke that, there's tons of people afterwards go, hey, I can do it too. So this is the Roger Bannister effect for XI. And that's how, say, potent XI is, especially if you're doing the 18 days. So what's happening to your family dynamics is, again, KB, is that what's happening is that you've changed so much. The family dynamics of you is changing, and then your family around you is waking up. Your family around you is waking up and going, shit, we need to change. We need to move on. We need to go forward. So you're coming, say, closer and closer together. Although it's kind of confusing because in the past you weren't that way. So right now, again, I would and there's some trust issues there as well from what I'm seeing. So what I would do now is for you is like start hearing or start listening without that protective edge that you all had with each other. Does that make sense to you? Because you know there's people that are the truth starts coming out for you. Right? Real family truths start coming out. Sometimes it's a little difficult when that happens, but again, all that shit has to say get disconnected, um, disconnected from you before you move on. So, a peak consciousness, Moss. Please check my high blood pressure and brain dizziness. Again, not a doctor or anything like that. Uh, uh, but what happens is that well, your whole life you've been scared, you know, and again, might be a little bit older, but what happens is that when you're always scared, again, your whole life you've been scared, unfortunately. Uh, so what happens is when you're scared, your blood pressure does get high because again, it makes you allows you to run when you need to, right? Like getting away from that lion. But if you're just scared all the time, your blood vessels constrict. So I see a lot of constriction in your blood vessels, and this is where you're not getting enough blood into your head. And again, that's where the original high, and I could be off, the original reason for why you have high blood pressure. And then that morphs into a physical reason, understanding again, what happens is that your arteries or your veins aren't as, say, elastic because they've been constricted for so long, right? Think of it this way. If you've been, say, in an accident, a tragic accident, you get muscle memory. Your body has that memory, and then you can't let go. Some people, they get stuck just like they're frozen in time and space. Well, that's what's happened to you. So at a deeper level, again, that fear of something deep inside, it's not even your fear, it comes from your father. Seems like he was alcoholic or something, by the way, and you'd be afraid of him walking in your room or that kind of stuff, or into the house, because you would know who he was. So that fear has been instilled within you, and that fear creates a lot of hormone release, and over time, it's just like compressed you. So what can you do? The one of the things is, again, don't take sugars or anything like that. And I would start eating fats, but do the 18 days, and it'll help. I'm trying to help you relax and go, okay, that time in your life is long gone. You can let go and relax. Okay. And as you do, you can come in and step into this world. All right. So that's the deeper level on why stuff happens for you. All right. Let's take one more. This one is Lorinda. How to handle overwhelm with goals. So again, this is why goal setting doesn't work for you and a lot of people. Okay, the underlying reasons why, and then is Lorinda. So the reason why is that when you set a goal, there's a constant. It's like especially when you have a specific date for you, right? You know, November 29th, the 2022, X is going to happen. So what happens though is that you're always lost in time. You're always falling behind time. This is like for you, personality issues would be like no matter what you do, you're always late. You're always or you're super on time. It's like you might go, no, I'm not always late, but you're extra diligent to be on time. Okay, it's not a natural occurrence. So either way, okay. So again, so when I see you, it's like time is here and it's moving, you feel like you're falling backwards. So when you set a goal or something in the future, it doesn't have to be a goal. It's like, hey, next Friday, let's go to dinner. You'll start to see again that, that's a simple goal, so to speak. But what'll happen is that you'll see that you're actually slipping backwards in time. So you're going backwards in time, and then you'll have to do something, create a lot of chaos, create whatever trauma, whatever it is for you to jump forward into time. And then that releases you. An extreme version of this, by the way, I bring this up because your family might have done this, or you might have done this when you were younger, abusing yourself or cutting yourself. This is an extreme version of that. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That example is an extreme version of getting overwhelmed. So overall, those individuals who, yeah, that runs in your family, by the way, abuse or cutting or those kind of things. Okay. Or trauma, getting into accidents or getting into fights, whatever it is, trouble, it puts you into again, the present moment time or anger even. So what happens again, those individuals who cut and abuse, if you have kids, teenagers like that, that's why I'm, giving a shout out. Again, the 18 days would benefit them or a private session. But what happens is that they see time. Okay. They see time moving. They see themselves either stagnant in time because they're frozen in time, usually out of fear of moving with time, because the more they find themselves, the more they have to deal or heal the past. The other version is that they actually feel like they're going backwards in time or getting pulled away. Okay. So again, time is moving, they're moving stagnant or getting pulled away. So again, and the further you disconnect from yourself, what happens, the darker it gets for you. And then you'd have to cut yourself, hurt yourself to pull you back into your body. And then it's a relief for you. Okay. So, yes. So, anyway, all right, guys. So, kind of went a little long, but that's okay. On the scans, you guys needed that. So that's it for this week. Again, coming up, guys, and it's really important, guys, to help us out for the world frequency meditations that we do at the end of every month. So get people involved because we really need to change this world. So again, the last one that we did was really, really fantastic. You can listen to that one. It tells you about the world. It tells you about the future of what's happening. I also predict in those times as well. So again, notice what you notice, guys. Notice the details of what you're noticing. All right. Peace.